Welcome back to 28 Days of Color presented by S.T.E.A.M Engine Academy. Today's episode 27, is Color in Men. For our history segment today, we discuss the beloved LeVar Burton of Reading Rainbow. Find out the impact that he's made on your hosts' lives as well as many others. And speak with Chawyn Foster, a California resident, about his experience as a black male growing up in America. Stay tuned.
So I can remember as a kid watching LeVar Burton on the Reading Rainbow, and it was one of those things where he would always have this like very calming, very chill, very relaxed kind of atmosphere to him. And it's like every time he talked to you, you always felt as if he was talking to you. Like you didn't feel as if, I mean, even if he's on TV, he kind of like reached out to you, as a kid, because you're hearing his voice and he's like very smooth, very calm, very relaxing. And then he's telling you the story and he's like, but you don't have to take my word for it. So there was that. Yeah, it was one of the big reasons why I actually loved reading books. I mean, he very much played that role in my childhood. And then on top of that, it was also seeing him in Star Trek. That was the bigger one for me. It was seeing him in Star Trek just because you weren't seeing you weren't seeing too many black guys in sci-fi shows at this moment. I mean, they had us all on UPN, so they had us on Martin, and we were on the Wayans brothers, and we were doing all of these sitcoms. But to see him in Star Trek in space, and he had the cool little visor. My brother and I would always, whenever it was Halloween or anything like that, we would always dress up and we'd always put on his visor, put on his headband, and we'd pretend like we're Girardi, So he definitely was one of my big reasons for also getting into sci-fi, which I feel like we should do more of. I feel like there should be more types of TV shows with black people in space. So seeing him doing that type of show at that moment, for me, it was very influential. And also him telling all of those children's books and stories, just because that played a big role in my love for knowledge as well. He was a big influence and role model in my desire for knowledge and my love for fantasy, in a sense.
LeVar Burton is an American-German-born actor, director, producer, and author. Burton is most famous for his roles in Star Trek: The Next Generation and Roots, in which he played the main character, Kunta Kinte. Burton was also famous as the host of PBS's main children's series, Reading Rainbow. Burton's father was a photographer for the United States Army who was stationed in West Germany when LeVar Burton was born February 16, 1957. Burton's mother raised him and his two sisters in Sacramento, California, after which Burton soon joined the St. Pius Seminary to become a Catholic priest. However, after reading books by Lao Tzu and Kierkegaard, he grew skeptical of his religion and dropped out of the seminary to join the University of Southern California, where he studied drama and theater.
Burton's first acting role was for ABC's award-winning television miniseries Roots, which was based on the novel by Alex Haley titled Roots, The Origin Saga of an American Family. Burton played a young Kunta Kinte in the series. The series itself was nominated for 37 Emmy Awards, out of which it won 9, while Burton was nominated for the Best Actor in a Drama Series. Burton was asked to portray Kunta Kinte for the book's 1998 film adaptation, Roots: The Gift. Burton then went on to star in Fantasy Island, Battle of the Network Stars, and Word Up, after which he went on to host PBS's premier children's series, Reading Rainbow. The series for whom Burton was also an executive producer was one of the most successful PBS series of all time. Not only did it run for 23 consecutive seasons, it was also picked up for over 200 consecutive broadcast awards during its run, including over 26 Emmys, while Burton himself winning a little over 10.
Burton started acting for Star Trek The Next Generation in 1986. He played Lieutenant Junior Grade Geordi LaForge, a blind engineer who is visually aided by an ingenious prosthetic device called Visor. At the time, Burton was one of the only highly acclaimed actors to join the show, and his role was defined by several critics as that of a new Spock. Burton went on to reprise his role as Geordi LaForge in subsequent Star Trek movies, like Star Trek Generations and Star Trek Nemesis. The Star Trek Enterprise also helped Burton kickstart his career as a director. For his first assignment, he directed a Star Trek episode. Burton went on to direct more Star Trek episodes than any other director affiliated with the Star Trek name.
Burton also hosted a documentary titled The Science of Peace, which documented pieces of technology that aimed to bring about world peace. Burton also portrayed the great Martin Luther King in the 2001 blockbuster titled Ali. He makes regular cameo appearances on popular shows and sitcoms such as The Big Bang Theory, Smosh, Community, This Week in Tech, Family Guy, and The Weakest Link. LeVar Burton was awarded the 1990 Hollywood Walk of Fame star at 7030 Hollywood Boulevard. He also won a Grammy Award for the Best Spoken Word Album.
This segment on history is near and dear to my heart. LeVar Burton and his presence on Reading Rainbow was a major part of my childhood and continues to be a part of my classroom today. If you haven't picked up on it, this series is also inspired by the show. The education on different types of careers, inner city life, interviews with interesting people, and of course, a story. As a child, my mother would take my sister and I on hunts around San Francisco in search of our favorite books from his episodes. After all, he always said, "You don't have to take my word for it." I became obsessed with books and have kept an ever-growing library since then. In my classroom, I was able to implement a curriculum around many of his shows and reward my class with a viewing after lunch. Sharing the legacy of his work on Reading Rainbow has been a privilege. It is for this reason and many more that I dedicate this episode to him. Thank you, Mr. Burton. I'll see you next time. Welcome back to another episode of 28 Days of Color, presented by S.T.E.A.M Engine Academy. Today's episode, Color in Men. We'll be speaking with Chawyn Foster about his experience growing up in America. How are you, Chawyn?
I'm good, Lauren. How you doing today?
Good. Thank you for being here. So tell us, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Vallejo, California. Other side of the Bay Area. They like to say we're not the Bay, but we the
North Bay. Yeah, I know Vallejo very well. I was born and raised there too, and I lived on the swamp side in Rancho.
So did I. I lived in the swamps too. Yep, I'm from the swamps.
See? So tell me, when was your first incident of discrimination?
My first incident, so you talking about the swamp side and all that. When I lived in the swamps, as a matter of fact, I lived on Dutch Flat Court. That's when it started. Coming from Vallejo's diverse. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of different ethnicities out there. You know what I'm saying? We got Asian, Black, you know what I'm saying? White, Jamaican, you know, so I'm used to that. But I got kind of kicked out of Vallejo schools, and my mom was like, all right, you need to go to Napa schools, because they went to Napa school, my whole family. I got to Napa school, make a long story short, I was in drama class, and I had a white friend, little white friend, who was heck cool. And I had this other dude, tall white boy, I'll never forget, he just started calling me the N-word. I had never said nothing to him, nothing like that. I'm cool, everybody knew me because I'm a rapper. So everybody wanted to hang out, you know, I'm cool with everybody, it didn't matter. So I'm sitting there, and he said something about you in, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Well, what's up? So my little partner was like, nah, Chawyn, I got it. And he like, why are you talking to Chawyn like that? I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I got it. He like, nah, I got it. So he's like, meet me after school, right? So the white dude was like, oh, meet me after school. Okay, so my long story short, we meet dude after school. My little white partner was like, hold my backpack, Chawyn. I'm like, all right, cuz, hold his backpack. Dude was like, my little partner had to be like maybe 5 feet. Dude was tall. Dude was like maybe 6. I never forget, we walking up to the dude, because he was waiting with his little white friends or whatever. We walking up to him. I'm like, what's up? By the buses. Walking up to him, my little white partner looked at him and he said, what you say about Chawyn? And he was about to say the N-word again. He said, I caught him up. My boy threw a haymaker. Bah! Knocked him out and laid him on the ground. He said, Chawyn, he said, get my backpack. And we got on the bus and did it. Now, there were other things that went on as well. You know what I'm saying? Like the same. So with that story, I might as well just tie this in with it. It had to be 90 something. I had to be like 90, 95, maybe 94 or something. I was in Vintage and I was talking to this girl, and she's a friend. Like I said, I wasn't trying to get at her or nothing like that, but she was a friend. We was real cool, talked back and forth just before text and all that. You know what I'm saying? So she called me, her mom knew me. You know what I'm saying? We're good people. So this so happened this Saturday. Then one of these people called me. It was like, Chawyn, we want you to come to this party we having in Napa. And I'm like, okay, why are you calling me all of a sudden? And plus, like, I already had PTSD from all the stuff that was going on in Napa, all the bad stories I heard. You know what I'm saying? Then I had some family friends that went through some stuff in Napa, and actually one of them lost their lives. So I'm sitting up here tripping about that. You know what I'm saying? So my mom was like, go to the party, you know, get out the house. I'm like, nah, mama, that don't sound right. You know, I don't know. So I didn't go. Long story short, I get to school the next day and find the guy who was actually throwing the party. So when I find this guy and I'm talking to him, he like, Chawyn, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the party last night, bro. You know, he's like, what party? I said, didn't you have a party this last weekend? And he was like, no. And I'm like, okay. So he was like, nah, dude, that wasn't me. So come to find out later, I forgot there's some mutual friends. I found out some stuff. That same guy that got knocked out by my friend was the one that threw the party. So basically what he's trying to do is have me set up and get up over there and get jumped or something like that. But like I say, when you are anointed by the top in the world, that's over the world and everything else, and you touch and you shine, ain't nothing touch you. So, you know.
I've never experienced anything like that, and I can't imagine, you know, that happening to my son as a parent. I can't imagine, you know, how that mom must feel. And with the way things are now, it doesn't seem like anything has changed. And you were mentioning that this was before text messaging and things like that, but it was also before social media. And I think more than anything, social media is creating such a huge impact because now we can see it for ourselves. We've always known it. We've always known. But there are some people that have never seen it. And now it's, you know, put out there on blast more than anything we've ever seen.
It's brought to the front.
That kind of goes into my next question. You know, you were talking about having, you know, PTSD from these things. That would have really shaken me as well. So what are some things, some precautions that you have in place now? Some things that have kind of changed your thought process on, you know, just being a Black male in this society?
Well, you know, it's sometimes it's fight or flight. It might just have to go down to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a righteous dude, so I'm not racist of any sort because my daughter is half Black. You know what I'm saying? Her mom white, of course. My best friend is white, so I'm not racist, but the precautions I was taking as far as Napa, I was just being myself. It didn't matter. I'm a big Black dude, so it don't matter. You come at me, I'm gonna come back at you. And that's to anybody, it don't matter. But when I deal with that racism stuff, you slide off at the lip, I'm finna slide off back. You know what I'm saying? Or it might get a little bit worse. You know what I'm saying? Just for the fact that you disrespected me, just to think you can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't play that. You know, so I mean, I still to this day be in Napa. I'm in Napa every weekend. You know what I'm saying? So when I go out there, I still look for stuff, you know, but it's not as growing up now and looking back then, it's not as it used to be. It's not. I've seen a lot of difference. There's a lot of Hispanics in Napa. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like that. But you go in the deep part of Napa, you still got them people out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and you know, over the past 4 years of the new administration, we've seen kind of those people that have those racist views come out of the woodworks and starting to feel more confident. So I'm hoping that with this administration, we can kind of shoo them back into their caves. And so with that, we still kind of have to teach our kids about these things. We still kind of have to keep these things in mind for them now that they've kind of resurfaced stronger. If you had a son, What is something that you would tell him? What was that conversation sound like?
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I have a daughter, right? So I prayed to God that when we had a kid, I wanted a little girl. I didn't want a little boy because I knew that being a black man in America was gonna be rough. Because I just seen it getting worse and worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to have to go through that. So I mean, and even me asking for a girl, they have their own issues. You know, women have their own issues. She's a light-skinned, beautiful girl. You know what I'm saying? So she's gonna have her own issues as well with racism in America. You know what I'm saying? So it's different for males than women. A male, they'll see a black male, 9 times out of 10, look at him, think he did something, shoot him. Come on, I'm just gonna be 100 with you. A woman, they'll disrespect her 9 out of 10, but they won't necessarily shoot him. You see what I'm saying? Because of the whole agenda. You know what I'm saying? The whole agenda is the black males. I'm sorry, it is what it is.
And even within our own communities, we still have discrimination between genders. You know, it's still, you know, worse for black men, but even as black women, we still get, you know, a share in that. And so
Right.
it's important that you mention that, you know, my daughter's going to have to go through things too. And, you know, with where we are now, what is some advice that you have for those moms, those mothers that may have a black child, but they're not black, that they can do to prepare their children, boy or girl, for this kind of environment?
You have to tell them the truth. You cannot lie to your kids. You have to tell them the truth. I know how much we as parents, we want to protect them and shield them. We can protect them and shield them in our homes. As soon as they step off that front porch, there's a real world out there. So you have to tell them and prepare them for what's going on. Just like my mom did me and my sister. She prepared us and told us what's going on. She told me I was a young black man. She said, they're not going to look at you the same as a young white man. You know what I'm saying? And I seen it. You know what I'm saying? I seen it. So you just have to prepare your kids for that. But on the same token, though, you also is jacked up. You have to prepare your kids for your own kind. You see what I'm saying? You have to prepare your kids for your own kind. That's the issue I have. You know what I'm saying? So we got white cops out here killing black kids. You know what I'm saying? We got white people just killing black kids, the Mark Zimmerman thing. You know what I'm saying? They're getting away with it. So it's so much, Lauren. It's so much, dude. I could get into it, that dude. It's rough. You know what I'm saying? It's really rough. And like I said, with the PTSD thing, when I get pulled over by the cops, I get a certain attitude. You know what I'm saying? I get an attitude because I know what y'all doing. Don't plant nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just riding. You know what I'm saying? Everything's legit, but you still want to pull me over. So an incident just happened. Matter of fact, y'all got time to talk about it? Okay, incident that just happened. Me, baby moms, and my daughter are driving through Fairfield Christmas time with my dog in the car. You know, we looking at Christmas lights. That's what we do every year. Go look at Christmas lights. Riding through there, I get pulled over by a cop. The first thing I do is I keep my hands on that steering wheel just like this. I don't move. When then they come to the back window where my daughter is, I told her roll her window down. They rolled her back when they shooting Mr. Scott through the light. You just ran through a stop sign. I'm like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. Okay, boom. I stopped. All right, whatever. And they're like, well, can you have your license and registration, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm going to reach in my right pocket and grab it. Can you see me? I over-exaggerate stuff. You see what I'm saying? That was one incident that made me mad. Then also was another one. This is a good one. I'm glad you brought this up. I almost forgot about this one. Me, my best friend, and my daughter went to the Bodega Bay. Okay, now this is a crazy story. We out there. It was a beautiful day, sunny, you know, summertime. My daughter out there running to the beach, come back. It was like a white family here, black family here, a Hispanic family. You spread out, you know, on their mats. So it was a couple of the white kids that had starfish. You know, you go around the corner, get the starfish and the shells and bring them back. But the starfish were alive and the crabs they had were alive. So my daughter, we was running around, we couldn't find any. So we running around there, you know, and one of the little white kids gave my daughter one. Like, here you go. You can have a starfish. And we had it. Mommy was playing with it or whatever. You know, so we sitting there and one of the game wardens come down, right? One of the cops, they come down and they come straight to me. We looking. And he comes straight to me and he goes, you know those are illegal to take. I said, oh yes, sir. I said, she's playing, we're gonna put it back in the water. And he was like, okay, well, do you have a license? A license license. I see your driver license ID. I said, yeah, what's the problem? And he was like, what'd he say? I said, what did we do something wrong? He was like, well, I just want to make sure you're not gonna take it. I said, sir, we just told you we weren't gonna take it. I said, those kids over there have them as well. Right? So he's like, well, let me see your ID. I didn't say nothing. I was like, here you go. You know, my best friend, she looking like, she mean mugging. I'm like, you know, calm down. So I give him, he goes, well, do you have any warrants or anything? I said, no, sir. This is exactly what he said. He goes, you have any warrants? Or I said, no, sir. And he was like, okay, well, I'm going to take the ID up to my car and I'm going to go check it. And if I come back, you don't have no warrants, I'm not going to give you a ticket. I'm like, give me a ticket for what? We didn't even leave the property, right? So he goes up to the car. Now the white family was behind me. The Hispanic family was right here. The black people was right here. We was all in the close vicinity. This is before the COVID hit. Way before the COVID. This years before COVID hit. My daughter was like 4, right? So he comes back down and he gives me my ID. He's writing the ticket. I'm like, what are you doing? I said, what are you giving me a ticket for? I said, didn't you just say that I said, did I have any warrants? He was like, no. I said, but didn't you just say that you wasn't gonna give me a ticket? He's like, I didn't say that. Now, check it out. The white family behind me, the black family behind me, and my best friend jumped up like, bull crap, no, that's crap. We heard everything you said. Everybody jumped on him. So I had to call him, put a complaint on him. You see what I'm saying? So when I called Bodega Bay Police or whatever, they was like, you want to put a complaint on him? I'm like, yeah, I want to put a complaint on him. So they was like, okay, we're going to send you the paperwork. Needless to say, they never sent me that paperwork. So what did that tell you?
You know,
yeah,
I'm going to keep saying it. Everybody who sees that, whether they're black or not, they need to say something.
Yeah,
they need to
say something.
every time, call it out every time. And, you know, I'm upset that a trip to the beach had to be ruined.
My daughter remember that, and that's what hurts me the worst. You know what I'm saying? Like, my daughter remember that, but at the same time, I wanted her to see what actually happened. And she has PTSD too from all of this, because she was crying like the other night, and she was like, 'cause I got mad about something, and with the police, I got mad. I went outside, and we have shootings on our block, and I went outside and just snapped, just started screaming. The cops right there. I said, you know, blah 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 blah. Blah you and blah, 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 blah. My daughter pulled me in the house and she started crying. She was like, Daddy, I don't want you to get shot. I don't want you to get shot. Now, see, that's crazy. We supposed to have freedom of speech and freedom of speech, and whatever we supposed to say, we can say, right? It was freedom of speech. But I'm black and my daughter's like, I don't want you to get shot. Now, I had another person went out there and did that. I mean, even though I didn't get shot, thank God, like I told you, I'm anointed. But had it been a different situation, you know what I'm saying, where they would have shot me, or if it had been a white person, come on now. You know, and you see it on TV, white people get away with so much, dude. Yelling at the cops. You know what I'm saying? Drive off, yell at the cops. We do that, we get shot, pulled out, beat. Just like in the 60s, in the 50s. Same thing.
And so with that, it kind of goes to my last question. What are some things that the white community can do to show their support and to continue this education? Those that want to support, those that want to, you know, help understand.
The ones that want to support, be truthful. You know what I'm saying? Be who you, okay, if you racist, I'm just gonna keep it, if you racist, be who you are. Don't sit up there and I have 2 black friends. Be who you are. Don't do that. I do not like that. I don't condone that. If you racist, you racist. A lot of people don't have a choice. Their parents didn't raise them like that. It's generations. You know what I'm saying? Don't have a choice. What people can do as far as to help, as far as it's not black, is you can, like I said, educate, tell the truth, educate, let them see the truth, ask for more black history in your school. You know what I'm saying? Sit your kids down. It starts at home. You know what I'm saying? It starts at home. Just like my mama taught me, like I said, before we leave that doorstep, your first schooling is at the house. You know what I'm saying? So whatever's taught, you soak in and you take that out into the world with you. So teach your kids, you know what I'm saying, the truth. You know what I'm saying? We not all, and like I said, everybody has a rotten, every race has a rotten apple in the bunch. So we're not all bad. Just like white people are not all bad. You know what I'm saying? So just educate. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say.
And what are some of the ways that you express yourself? Because I know that you said you were in music, you were a rapper.
I express myself. Well, me being a rapper. Woo. Okay, so when I express myself in rap, I just, like I said, it's PTSD for a lot of things. So I express myself in a rap just by just saying what I want to say and getting out there and creating my own world. I got a blank canvas, and then I'll paint all this stuff on this canvas, and it's up to you to come into my world. I'm inviting you into it. It's up to you to come into my world, or it's up to you to stand out and look at that painting and judge it. You know, you're gonna judge it anyway, but that's just how it is. So I just throw it out there. I never say anything about racism. I don't speak on any of that, even though I could. And I mean, it's a lot of people that touched on it. Just because I'm not saying anything doesn't mean that I'm not, I don't feel this way. You know what I'm saying? I'm a black man. I love my color. I love my ethnicity. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So just because I'm not speaking the way a lot of people want me to come out and say things, about, I just don't want it. I don't want to deal with that. My spirit is too pure right now. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to have a positive outlook. I'm trying to have a positive spirit, a positive vibe. So when I go into the world, I already know it's negative out there. It's looking for me. I'm not looking for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. I just paint it out there. Y'all like it, love it, listen to me. You can hear my pain in some songs. It's just real music. Relationships, stuff on the street, anything. Who knows? In the future, I probably will do some stuff about racism, but if I do it, it'll be bad. It'll go hard because I rap really hard, so.
Honesty, I think, is needed right about now.
I don't know about that honesty, though. Woo.
Oh my goodness, this has been informational. You have such an exuberant personality, and that has made this so fun. I appreciate you being on the show and taking the time to sit with me, and I look forward to hearing from you more. Thank you.
You already know, cousin. I got you.
Thank you, Chawyn. Take care.
You too. Peace.
Closing out our episode today, Color in Men, we have a story about a father who's trying to figure out how to do his daughter's hair in preparation to see mom. This book is popularly known. It's Hair Love. You may have seen the cartoon version of this online. This book was written by Matthew A. Cherry and illustrated by Vashti Harris. Enjoy. Hair Love. My name is Zuri, and I have hair that has a mind of its own. It kinks, coils, and curls every which way. Daddy tells me it's beautiful. That makes me proud. I love that my hair lets me be me. In funky braids with beads, I'm a princess. When my hair is in two puffs, I am above the clouds like a superhero. My hair even does magic tricks. One day Rocky and I were playing outside when along came the rain. From large to small it went, presto, just like that. There is nothing my hair can't do. Today, I woke up extra early, all by myself. I was too excited to sleep. It's a big day. Daddy was still sleeping. Shh, I said to Rocky as we tiptoed past him. Lately, Daddy has been worn out. He makes me breakfast, takes me to school, goes to work, picks me up, and yesterday we went for a bike ride around the park. I think he needs a break. Because today is special, I want a perfect hairstyle. This calls for a professional's touch. Crack. Pause off, Rocky. Daddy heard the crash. Zuri, what on earth? He asked. I was only trying to help, I said. Daddy smiled. Can I help too? It'll be a piece of cake, Zuzu. The first style was a big no way. The second was no better. No, Daddy. Then Daddy tried slicking my hair back into 2 puffs. Ouch! Daddy yelled. Wait a minute, Daddy said as he reached into the drawer and pulled out a pick. Ta-da! Daddy, really? I said. I'll be right back, he promised. Now, how's that? He asked, pulling a hat down over my eyes. Daddy, come on. We can do better than that. I really need my hair to be special. Don't worry, he said. We'll figure this out. Then I had a great idea. Daddy gathered all the tools we needed, and we were set. Daddy combed, parted, oiled, and twisted. Watching carefully, he nailed it. Funky puff buns. Pretty, and so much fun. Rocky approved too. I put on my superhero cape as the final touch to a perfect look. Where's my Zuzu? Mommy called from the door. She could not get in the house fast enough. Mommy! You've got to be the prettiest Supergirl I have ever seen, she said. And your hair is beautiful, Zuri. Who did it? I looked at Daddy and beamed. Mommy smiled. Very nice. Thank you. We learned from the best, Daddy said as he gave her a big hug. My hair is Mommy, Daddy, and me. It's hair love. The end.